34. The member of the Confederation. What are the 10 nations that form the end-time global government? As we attempt to identify the members of the end-time confederation, we must realize that there are two kinds of nations in the confederation. In the League of 10 Nations, 7 countries are important and 3 are unimportant. The 17th chapter of Revelation tells us that the beast, the end-time political social system, has 7 heads and 10 horns. The 12th verse tells us the 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings. How should we understand and identify these 10 kings? Earlier in this book, we learned that the book of Daniel is the mate of the book of Revelation, and that we cannot understand that apocalypse without the help of the book of Daniel. These 10 horns are first seen in Daniel's 7th chapter. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another horn, a little one, before which 3 of the first horns were plucked up by the roots. Again, the 24th verse tells us, as for the 10 horns, out of this kingdom 10 kings shall arise. The 8th verse tells us that another horn, a little horn, which will be the 11th horn, came up from among the 10 horns. See also, 3 of the first horns were torn out by the roots to make room for it, and 3 of the other horns were pulled up by the roots to make room for it. The 24th verse explains that 3 kings will be uprooted to make room for the 11th king. Does this mean that 3 kings in the federation will oppose the admission of the 11th king into the global governing council? No, not initially. When the 11th horn applies for membership in the global governing council, initially all the 10 nations will unanimously welcome the 11th horn and even elect him as the president of the global government. We must not miss this point. Revelation 17 verses 12 and 13 nearly tell us this fact. And then, and the 10 horns that you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received royal power, but there are to receive authority as kings for 1 hour together with the beast. These are of one mind, and they hand over their power and authority to the beast. All the 11 nations will be in power with perfect agreement for every short while. The Bible says they will share the authority for 1 hour, which means every short time. After that short time, the 3 nations will begin to dislike the administrative policies of the president. The 3 nations demand that the president should be removed from the council. 7 nations in the confederation will be eager to continue the 11th king as the president. 3 nations take a firm stand and oppose this 11th king from leading the global government. This difference of opinion in the global governing council will lead to a small war. After the war, the 3 nations that opposed the 11th king will be subdued and forced to leave the global governing council. Then the 7 kings remain in the governing council. Am I missing the count? If 3 kings quit the global governing council of 11 kingdoms, the remaining number of nations should be 8, isn't it? Yes, of course. But the book of Revelation says there are 7 kings. One of the 7 kings will become the 8th king and go into destruction. Revelation 17, chapter 11th verse. As for the beast that was and is not, it is an eighth, but it belongs to the 7, and it goes to the destruction. NIV says, the beast who once was and now is not, is an eighth king. He belongs to the seven and is going to his destruction. Young's literal translation says, the beast that was and is not, he also is eighth, and out of the seven he is, and to destruction he doth go away. We must understand this important point. There are seven kingdoms or kings. Out of these seven kingdoms, five kingdoms or kings have already fallen. One kingdom is in power at this time of writing the book of Revelation. The seventh kingdom had not yet come when John was receiving the revelation. The seventh kingdom was the future of John's time. The Bible tells us the seventh kingdom will last a little while when it comes into power. We have to first identify these seven kingdoms. Then we have to locate from which kingdom the eighth king will come. The eighth king will come out of one of the seven kingdoms that ruled the world. To be more precise, the Antichrist, the little horn that has human eyes and blasphemous mouth, will come out of the five kingdoms that ruled the earth before John. The beloved received the revelation. It is also true that the Antichrist will come out of the Roman Empire because Daniel tells us that the little horn comes out of the fourth beast. We know that the fourth beast is the Roman Empire. We'll see in the coming pages that it is possible for the little horn to come out of a kingdom that ruled the world before Christ and also to come out of the Roman Empire. Now we'll identify these seven kingdoms from the history recorded in the Holy Scriptures.